I thank the stars above. I know that we're gonna make it.
It'll take all we got, we gon' make it. Show the world that I shine in our greatness. Keep it real, never gon' fake this. Till we make it, till we make it. Taking off, flying high like a spaceship. Take control, take a shot, what you waiting for? Keep it real, never gon' fake this. Till we make it, till we make it. Second verse, I'm telling you I'm ready to go, letting you know.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back or to the channel. Not really doing any truck content today. Just got a little quick project that I'm working on around the house, and I figured I'd bring you guys along for the trip. So what's been happening to me, and now that it's getting colder outside, I gotta address it. My furnace has been shutting down, and it's been throwing a code at me, and it's basically telling me that it's not getting any intake into it. It's not seeing the proper amount of air coming into it, so it won't light off, and it won't blow any heat. So what I determined last year is the piping that's on the ground outside of the house. So I got to do something about that. I should have did it when it was warmer, but I've been working on the truck and everything else and really haven't had a chance. So I'm going to do that today, and it's pretty simple fix. I just had the AC unit replaced this year. All the pipes in the basement have been replaced. I redid all that stuff, and now I'm at the portion where it runs out the house. And basically that's the last portion that was actually on the house. This is the portion that I haven't replaced yet. So let me show you guys what I got going on. All right, let me take you over here to the side of the house. It's pretty crazy. I got a lot of trees, a lot of leaf cleanup. I cleaned up a whole bunch of them the other day, and it doesn't even look like it now. But so here's the issue. We got this little cubby here, if you will. There's a breezeway between our house and our garage, and when the wind blows, it blows everything up in between here. As you can see, I didn't suck any of this stuff up. Yeah, I gotta take this stuff and burn it. But the same thing happens with snow. And here is my intake and my exhaust from my furnace. So what's happening is the intake sucking in the exhaust. So you got, like, warm, moist air coming out of this. The intake sucking it in, and when it's colder outside, here, let me show you. That thing's getting all clogged up with ice crystals. So that's the first problem. Then the furnace shuts down. You wake up in the middle of the night and you're freezing because your furnace ain't working. And the next issue is obviously how close they are to the ground. So anytime we get any kind of snow drifts or anything blowing in over here, kind of like all the leaves and everything else, it buries these things. So that's no bueno. I've actually recently replaced some of this piping in the basement because we had to have a new AC unit put in. But I got to do something with this. I've kind of reached out. Is that even a word? Reached out. Got in contact with a few different people, and basically you just got to get these lines up off the ground. I don't know why they're so close to the ground. I mean, that's literally coming right out of the basement, right there, and it's dumped there, and it's always been like that. Like when we first bought the house and moved in, the end caps weren't even on them. I went to fire the furnace up, and I had a furnace full of chipmunks in the blower motor down there that I had to get out and replace the motor. So I'm just gonna flip that 90 around, run it up. I think run it up, both of them up so high, and then I'll 90 it back down, because obviously you don't want to get them filled up with water. And we'll run with that. And I think I'm gonna paint them too. So I think it's gonna kind of look gaudy with them bright white right here on the side of the house in the open. Now this was all covered up before, and you can see my siding's kind of got that green stuff all over it, and that's because these trees were overgrown, or these arborvitaes, or whatever these things are. So I had a whole big section of that cut off here recently, and we got rid of it, and that's kind of what it left. And there was another one over here, you can't see it, but there's another one growing on this side before too, and I had that one cut down and had the stump pulled up to get that stuff down away from the house. There's one on the other side of the house over here too that we got rid of. So yeah, I've been putting a lot of work into the house, trying to get it set up and livable. And you generally don't want trees growing right up the side of your house like that, or bushes or whatever they are, because you'll get a bunch of bugs in the house. Is ultimately what'll happen. I'm trying to get you guys drawn in here. There you go. So basically, I'm just gonna take some PVC, cut it to length. I kind of got it already marked out here. Take a couple 90s, flip those, glue them together, and I'll have to pull the 90 off that's on there already. Glue them together, so it's kind of look like that, and then we'll put the end cap in it and put it back on there, and that should solve all of our problems for this winter. So nothing to it. I'm gonna get the chop saw going here, cut up some PVC, and show you guys what I got going on. That should work just fine. Very simple. That'll bring that up high enough off the ground to where it's not like gonna suck in any snow or anything, because the snow is not gonna get that high over here. Let me set you guys down. I might have to cut this again too, because whoever cut it originally didn't cut it very straight. Yeah, that's about what we're gonna look like just like that. Yep, that should work out perfectly. Now it's up off the ground. It's away from the exhaust here, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the exhaust, but I think I'm gonna bring it up a little bit higher, and we'll go from there. So I'll put another 90 here, cut another piece, and then I'll 90 and 45 that. I should be able to anyway. So yeah, it's pretty much as easy as that. Like I said, I'm gonna cut it, and then I'll have to brace it somehow to keep it there. But that'll get us up off the ground high enough to where we're not worried about snow and leaves and stuff getting sucked into it. Pretty easy to do. All right, I'm gonna cut these other pieces and get me some more fittings, and I'll show you guys what the finished product looks like. It's freaking getting colder. All right, guys, check this out. This is what I was able to come up with last night. Had to run out and get some more fittings, and then it got dark on me, so I couldn't really see out here. But that's it. That's what it's gonna look like. So we got the intake side over here, exhaust side over here. I think it's got them split far enough apart that hopefully the intake won't be sucking in the exhaust there. And the only thing that's left to do now is paint them. I got some paint. I hope this is gonna... I was at the store looking at pictures of the house. Hopefully this color will dull it down a little bit. It's like a brownish, grayish, greenish, I don't know. Yeah, it's probably gonna be a little too light, but I think it'll look better than having those bright white horns sticking out. Look, I got ram horns. That's funny. All right, let me get some paint on this stuff, guys, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. Oh, I wanted to show you. So now that I got it all together, and I know what I want it to look like, what I do with my marker? Oh, there it is. I mark everything, because I'll pull it all back apart. I'll just put lines on everything. That way when I stick it back together, when I pull it apart and take it in the garage too, I'll have it right back. It doesn't really matter where the lines are. I'll have it right back. And those are just going to work for the glue. so I can pull it back apart and glue it together. And then I will scuff these up before I paint them. And that should have me good enough. Close enough anyway. I know when the lines are together. That's where I had the fittings at. Alright. We'll pull them off and get some paint on them now. So these pipes are all glued and painted, as you've seen, and now we're just going to shove them on here. Make sure we got a good tight fit, and I'm not going to glue them to the house, just in case something needs to get in them or get cleaned. The fit's pretty tight, so this is our intake side, and this will be our exhaust side over here. And that should keep them. They're gonna look crooked on the camera too, probably a little bit, but these lines in the siding aren't straight, so that's about what we got. And hopefully that'll keep any debris or snow or anything getting up there and blocking them, and it'll keep the intake from sucking in the exhaust and get rid of all the problems that we had last year. Simple as that. Project done.
I think the stars above, I know that we're gonna make it.
It'll take over God, we gon' make it. Show the world that I shine in our greatness. Keep it real, never gon' fake this. Till we make it, till we make it. Taking off, flying high like a spaceship. Take control, take a shot, what you waiting for? Keep it real, never gon' fake this. Till we make it, till we make it. Second verse, I'm telling you I'm ready to go, letting you know.